All right, hello everybody. I know it's been a little while, but believe it or not, we've only had one practice since the last time that I made a video because we've just been hit with a lot of bad weather here. But I got some stuff to talk about in terms of discipline. But before I get to that, I want to just preface this video by saying that all the stuff that I talk about here is going to be in the context of general information on coaching. I don't want to mention any specific events of my team because I don't want anybody from the team watching this and feeling a certain type of way about what I'm communicating. I mean, if they feel, type of way, whatever, I just want to make sure that they can't do anything to me basically negative. I just want this information to be general. And that was on the advice of my friend, so thank you. I think it's a good idea. So we're talking about discipline today, and discipline is an extremely integral part of a team because when you're talking about discipline, you're talking about the level of fairness that all the players feel across each other. For example, when you have the best player on the team, sometimes they'll get special treatment from the coach, especially at the higher levels. And to me, that is a very negative thing. I don't think anybody should be getting special treatment on a team. And this is why discipline is so important, because you have to have a consistent set of rules that players must follow, or they will face negative consequences, whether that be extra running or working, whether that be reduced playing time. But all of these disciplines have to be really tightly managed depending on the group that you're dealing with, because if you're dealing with a younger age group, for example, or on a recreational versus competitive level, you really don't have the option to discipline players in certain ways because that's not the essence of what you're really trying to get at. At a recreational level, you're more trying to teach fundamental skills and team building and having fun rather than winning. When you have the ability as a coach to focus on winning as the only real objective, you start to be able to build a more stringent or a more stringent set of rules that can be applied with more force. Okay, so for example, I played high school football for a year, and that was a great experience. And they don't have any mercy on you there. You are, as some people may call it, a B word. In terms of the coaches, you are a pipsqueak, you are a nothing, especially when you're on the lower level team. So I really enjoyed that aspect because everybody was accountable, and not only that, but the team was accountable. We were accountable for each other. But that's something you can't really implement on a lower age level, and so you have to develop different strategies for dealing with that. And I think the most effective strategy is to just hark back to why the players are there and try to appeal to their emotions. If you make the appeal to the emotions, you may be able to get through to them. Whereas if you try to enforce some level of discipline that you would normally be enforcing for a older age group, the players will resent you, and the players might resent you at the higher level, but you have the kind of leeway to make them realize the benefit of that resentment because you are the one that has the real vision of what success looks like. Okay, but on the lower level, what might happen is some negative emotions get stimulated, and then the parents start wondering, well, why are we having this negative emotion? I thought this was a rec team. So these are the things you kind of have to watch out for, and you also just have to consider when you're dealing with a younger age group that you're not there to take over the world. And then the other thing, in terms of discipline is about creating the team environment and a consistent set of rules. And so in that realm, you're also dealing with player relationships, okay? And as kids age, they're going to start to develop negative feelings or positive feelings about certain members on the team, and this creates cliques. And cliques are the last thing that you want to deal with as a coach. But if they happen, you have to deal with them efficiently. You have to deal with them fairly. and how to do that is an extremely hard thing. So let's take a situation that I know I can talk about, which is that of my sister. I hope she doesn't mind. Sorry, but she was on a middle school team back in the day, and cliques developed, and playing time was impacted by the development of these cliques in terms of a negative way, because certain cliques had more influence over the coach. So at least that was the way she described it, and I believe her. And so you have, if you're a coach in that situation, I believe the best thing that you can do is go to the team and well, probably go to the players first individually, right? And try to iron out the real source of the discontentment. And then once you've ironed out the real source of the discontentment, then you can go, forward with creating some strategies for dissolving that, right? So, for example, if you have a social, discontentment that's resulting in disharmony on the field, that is when you again have to sell the players on the idea of why they're there, why harmony is going to promote us winning. Now, it's really nice when you're on the professional level, because if a player doesn't jive with the team's philosophy, which is what you're putting forward to them in that instance, you have the ability to say, okay, you're no longer needed here, right? Whereas on the middle school, high school, youth level, you don't have the ability to say, yeah, I don't think this player is fitting our philosophy, get out of here, right? So optimally, you have the ability to do that, and you have the ability to do that in life, and that's what life, should be. If you let somebody in and you vet them and you say, yes, your philosophy matches mine, at least at this moment in time, let's get together, let's do something positive, let's make some magic happen, right? And if there comes a point where their philosophy gets too far departed from yours, then you can say goodbye. We have that beautiful freedom of choice, right? But the same is not true in a middle school, high school, youth environment. And so going back to this, you have to sell them on the idea of why they're there to win. You have to sell them on the idea of success, that harmony is what is going to make them the best person, all right? So sometimes, it's going to come across pretty harsh, I think, at a lot of certain points, but if you can really drill down if the players can sense that you really want to help them and want to help them succeed, then I think they're going to sense that harmony is going to be our source of winning. And you can go further into explaining why harmony is. It really has something to do with when your unconscious mind is fed the positive thoughts of harmony, it has the ability to make the most efficient decision in the moment, rather than being based upon the conscious mind's or the unconscious mind's perceptions about the usefulness of a player based on social rather than actual performance abilities. So that's how you can conquer the cliques, or the disease of me, as Pat Riley describes it in his book. Which is when a player gets discontent and they feel like they're not being given the right opportunities. And what you also have to understand, and this is a concept from his book, is that you may have some discontentment among who's the leader, who's the followers, etc. But generally, as long as people are given a role that they feel that they can fulfill in a positive way, they're going to be content with the state of the team. And the discontentment comes up when they don't feel that their abilities are being utilized effectively in terms of the winning, in terms of their ability to win. So it's not necessarily that a player wants to become a leader of the team or the center point of the team, but that they want to be utilized effectively within the team. And so this is what the social or cliques are going to create, is a certain group of players working for their own ends rather than for the team's ends, right? So you may win a lot of games with these cliques, actually, and sometimes you'll win more amount of games. But if you're really a coach that's focused on the long-term vision of not just your team, but of the players and their lives, you're going to be focused on selling them on the idea of working in harmony and getting the best out of everybody. So I think that's all for today. I really feel good about that, to be honest with you. I think that was some amazing information that you can utilize in your own teams. So I will see you. We have practice. Well, like I said, I'm not going to make this specifically about my team. So I will see you in a few days, and hopefully I'll have some more interesting things to talk about. Peace.